Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Sleeping Giant here on Reesy FC. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and make sure you hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Also, I'm streaming on Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Follow me, twitch.tv/ReesyFC. Come over, join the chat, make sure you follow, and it's good fun. It is good fun over there. So, back to the save, of course. Last time out, we managed to qualify for the Europa League. We finished in 6th position after a great final day game against Chelsea. Let's show you that now. So it was Chelsea at home for a place in the top 6. Chelsea are also going for a Champions League space, so it was a massive game. Bogar gave us the lead after 35 minutes, beating Kepa at his near post. Chelsea, though, played very well in this game and were quite unfortunate. They hit the post a couple of times. They did equalise in the 72nd minute, and at that stage it looked like we wasn't going to qualify when Lautaro scored. However, a few minutes later, 79th minute, we managed to get ourselves in front again. Lovely ball over Fabio Silva there with a header to make it Blackburn Rovers 2, Chelsea 1. So another marvellous season for us, finishing 6th in the league. But apparently, though, before we do dive into this, if you do have a look, if I go to the right screen that is, it says we are in the Europa Conference League. However, we have been told we are in the Europa League, so I'm not quite sure what happens there. So we just have to see, don't we, where we end up. We're in Europe either way. Hopefully it's the Europa League, because then we've got a chance to get into the Champions League for our final season, which will be season 5 of the series. But yep, let's go back then and show you the end of season awards then. Calvin Phillips getting the fans player of the season with 40% of the vote. Fantastic signing for us, and he played very, very well. He was pivotal in our run to the Europa League quarter-finals. Bradley Dack got goal of the season. Let's be reminded of what that looked like. I'm sure it was another typical scorcher from Bradley Dack. Dack running forward with the ball. I remember this very well. Runs through most of the Milan team like they wasn't there. I think I said that on commentary on that episode. And a beautiful finish into the bottom corner. And if that was the game, obviously we did lose on goal difference. We drew 1-1 on the night, so a disappointing night, but at the same time we did very well that evening. The season review then, so we finished 6th in the Premier League. We went out of the 4th round of the FA Cup to Norwich, which is very disappointing. The board, I think, wanted us to get to the 5th round, so it was it was just one round off of there. Quarter final against Milan, fantastic run in Europa League, beating Valencia, topping the group, beating Real Sociedad. And yeah, of course, we lost at the San Siro. That cost us big time. And of course, we got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup where we lost to Manchester United where we pretty much threw away that second leg, didn't we? Match of the season. Every Blackburn fan will love to see that. At home to Burnley, we thrashed them 4-0. Fantastic performance there. We've done the double on them, and we are the kings of Lancashire, basically. And the moment to forget is the 5-2 defeat at home to Liverpool, which it's Liverpool. We know what they're like in this game. They're very OP. And yeah, it's not the end of the world losing that game, is it? So the club vision for next season then. Let's take a look at this. Next season they want to finish in the mid-table of the Premier League. Well, that's doable. We've finished in the top 6 both times we've been back in the Premier League, so that's doable. It looks like we are in the Europa Conference League, because look, they want us to reach the semi-final of that. Well, if we are in the Europa Conference League, we have to win that competition. We really do. If we don't, it'll be disappointing. So that is a big shame. If it is the Conference League, even though we was told it was Europa League in one of the emails straight after the game against Chelsea, it means we won't. I don't think you go into the Champions League anyway. If you do win it, you probably go into the Europa League. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I'm not sure of the rules, but let me know in the comments what the rules are there, because I'll probably forget to look it up after this video. So mid-table finish and Europa Conference League semi-final. So there's no talk of the cups, which is very weird. However, look at that. So the season after we're meant to finish our save, they want us to become best of the rest. So that means pretty much finish 2nd. So the board do have aspirations of us being Premier League champions at one stage. So we're going to accept that current vision, because I quite like that. They haven't mentioned anything about the cups, which is very strange. Hopefully we can pick up a cup. Then that'll be nice, wouldn't it? So squad dynamics, very good. Dressing room atmosphere, managerial support is down somehow. No idea why. And let's have a meeting with the boys. Let's tell them next year, season is over. For all of you, well-deserved break. You want everyone fully rested. Qualify for Europa League. that putting too much pressure on them, we will say top half position, and they think that's out of reach. What on earth are they talking about? We finished 6th the last 2 years, so we've annoyed a few of the players there. They don't think we can finish in the top half, even though we've had European finishes each time. So the end of season injury report, we did have quite a few injuries. Holtby there, look at that, 2 injuries. He missed 4 months with a damaged Achilles, 6 weeks for Silva. Jake Garrett, must be a youngster, 5 weeks for him. So Helder Costa was out quite a lot as well. We had a 4-week injury spell. He's had 4 injuries. So we have had a lot of injuries as well. So that's something to maybe consider. Let's have a look at the medical department as well in pre-season. And where are they off to? Blackburn squad have gone on holiday. Oh, I thought that was the training camp, but it's not. Oh, here's the training camp though. So the camp will be held in China. There's got to be a better place than China. No offence to Hong Kong there, but is there a better place for them to go? Somewhere nice and sunny? Austria? Okay, we'll stick with Hong Kong then. So it is a good place to go. I thought they'd go for a nice sunny training camp somewhere. So they will be going to Hong Kong. Let's have a look. Buckley's training report, which we're not too bothered about right now. So the board have given us our initial budget for the season. It's a staggering £83.43 million transfer budget, which is craziness. That's the most amount we've had at Blackburn. And we've got a £1 million wage budget as well. So we have really got some funds to invest in this squad heavily. It's a shame we're not in the Europa League, because it'd be a different criteria of players that we could bring in then. Would be much more of an attractive place to come and play your football if it was in the Europa League. Even better if we did make the Champions League. But the Europa Conference League, I don't think is a big swinging point for players to come and play in. But we'll give it a go. It's better. Europe is better than no Europe, of course. But that is a real good transfer budget. I'm pleased with that. So with that new transfer budget in mind, it only makes sense to have a look at the current squad. And to be honest, as we already know, we've got a very good squad. I'm very happy with it. To go as far as we did in the Europa League last year and finish in the top 6, I think we could do the same in the Premier League again. And that's why I also think with this current squad, we can win the Europa Conference League, and we should be aiming to do that, not just reach the semi-final. There's good players everywhere here that we might look at. I mean, if we are going to improve, of course I'll look at improving. If there's players that come available and we scout and looks like they could replace someone in the current team, albeit I'm up for signing them. So maybe we need to look at the fullback areas. Nyambe's fantastic. Bell's been very good for us. It might not harm us if we do sign another one. Tosin, of course, is going to go back to Manchester City. Gibson, of course, is going back to Everton. So maybe there's something to be done in the defence there for sure. A bit of business. Will we sign Tosin Adebayo finally on a permanent transfer? We made it clear to Pep Guardiola and Manchester City we want to sign him permanently. Guardiola was open to it. He didn't dismiss it, so hopefully we can bring him into the club. How much is he worth? He is worth 30 million. So if we can get him for around 30 million, 35 million out of our 83 million pound budget, then that's a good signing for us if we can bring him on loan. We know what he's all about. Midfield wise, again, very happy with Travis and Phillips, but we're prone for injuries in midfield, so maybe another midfielder wouldn't be a bad idea. These areas we're very strong. Up front we're extremely strong with Armstrong and Silva, Bogar, Eze and Costa, fantastic wide men, and of course we've got Eze that can play in the attacking midfielder role with Bradley Dack, who usually plays there anyway, so we're very strong there. So maybe it's just going to be the defence we're going to look at. We've got a good cover at goalkeeper with Slicker. He's a good young promising keeper, so I think most of the transfer activity will be in defence. However, every time I've done one of these transfer windows, and right at the beginning of the video I end up saying no, we're definitely going to go for a left back, we'll go and sign an attacking midfielder, because that's what I'm like. If we're going to talk about players that we are going to bring in, let's have a look at the squad here and just filter by appearances. We kind of, as much as we got a lot of money, we need to look at some of the deadwood we got at the club and players that we don't necessarily play. So Harry Chapman's one, he's hardly featured. Look, 4 substitute appearances last year. He's one that we can look to get rid of, so we will put him on the unwanted list. Sell for value, what is he, valued at 115? So yeah, let's just say minimum acceptable amount 100k. I'm happy with that. However, his contract does expire, so maybe actually that isn't going to work anyway. He's probably on the way out. Anyway, he's the only one though, I think. Or is there a couple? Who is actually going? It helps if I actually look who's actually leaving the club, doesn't it? So Stuart Downing is obviously retiring. We know that. Davenport, I mean, he's a good player. I think we've already asked to negotiate a contract. Apparently we haven't. Good job I looked at this then, isn't it? Chapman will let him go. Lukokoi, well, I think he's a good player to have about. I don't think he will stay. However, we are going to discuss a new contract with him. Who else is in here? Let's sort by appearances again. Who hasn't really played? I mean, Jason Latweiler, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He leaves next year. However, it would be nice to get rid of him this year. We don't need him. Add to the unwanted list and sell for his value. And that's absolutely fine. I wish it wouldn't just jump to that screen every time. Tyler Maguire, of course, he's a youngster. Did we bring him in through the youth? I've got a terrible memory. Yeah, he has been at Blackburn for a very long time. And how old is he as well? He is 23, so he's only young. He's a bit of cover in defence, but he hasn't got much potential, so he is also going to be added to the unwanted list and sell for value. Stop chucking me to that screen. Down is leaving. Rothwell is one. He's versatile. He hasn't played a lot of games. However, he could be one also to let go of. Unfortunately, we are going to add him to the unwanted list as well and sell him for his value. So there's a few players there that will be leaving the club. Hopefully frees up a bit more wages and spaces for new boys to come in. It never harms to freshen up the squad slightly. Huge news early in this transfer window. We have had an offer accepted from Manchester City for Tosin Adarabioyo, £26 million. And if we can get him for £26 million, what a bargain that is for a player we know very well. We've played for the last three seasons, and that'll be a fantastic signing for us to finally bring him to the club permanently. Let's hope he doesn't play poorly now we've brought him there permanently. He needs to play exactly like he has done on loan, and if he does, we've got a superstar on our hands. And the deal went through. Nice smooth transfer there. Tosin Adarabioyo is now a permanent Blackburn Rovers player. He is signed on a £26 million deal, as of course I just told you that's what we offered him. £22 million will be deducted from the wage budget, and we have confirmed the deal. So fantastic news. £4 million of that will be add-ons because only £22 million has been deducted of the budget. That is a really good signing. It leaves us with around £50 million to play with for the rest of the transfer window. Another deal we was looking to get over the line was this one, Lewis Gibson signing. Well, we had an offer accepted for him for about £27 million or something. No, sorry, it's £21.5 million, not quite 27. But for me, far too much money agreed there by the director of football. He's a good player. He didn't play a lot for us though last season, and spend £21.5 million on him is pretty insane. We did delay it, but we're going to cancel it now that we know we want to invest in a left back and a right back perhaps. And there was potentially we need to look at a central midfielder as well. However, that's not the case anymore because Lewis Travis was the subject of a bid from Newcastle United of 24 million. We actually asked for 50 million and they accepted that. So that was one we was happy to let go through, which is absolutely crazy, obviously, when you think of how important he is to us. But 50 million is crazy for Lewis Travis. As you see, he's the second best midfielder at the club. However, he didn't want to go, so he remains at the club, which I'm quite happy with anyway. It's just we couldn't turn down 50 million for a player of his calibre. We could have brought in a real good central midfielder's replacement, but he remains at the club, and that means we don't need to do the Lewis Gibson deal. Well, we decided not to do it rather than we didn't need to do it because we need to put the money elsewhere, and we can get someone better than Lewis Gibson, I think. Another important thing, the Premier League fixtures have finally been released. We start off at home to Bournemouth, then we go away to Cardiff, away to Spurs, away to Norwich, and then at home to Newcastle. And to be fair, you can't get a much better first 5 fixtures than that. If we can get a really good start and get some momentum, who knows where the season will take us. So I'm very happy with that start. The East Lancashire derby against Burnley is on January the 7th. And March the 11th. So quite a long wait until we do have the Lancashire derby games, but a very promising start. But that indicates somewhere along the line we're going to have a tough spell, isn't it? So let's have a look. And in between these games as well, we've got the Europa League. I need to get used to saying Europa Conference League games as well. So we must have a hard spell coming up, like a cluster of the big boys, Currently we don't. Here we go. There's one there in February. Chelsea, Manchester United and Arsenal all together. To be fair, we've actually got a very good fixture list. There's no big cluster of games apart from them 3 there in the February that is too difficult. And when I say too difficult, I mean like it's like 4 of the big 6 or something. Man City and Liverpool together there before the Lancashire derby. But I think we've been very fortunate in the Premier League fixtures, really, and how they've been generated. Hopefully it'll be a good start to the season for us. Another new signing for us, and it's Bubba Rahman on a free transfer. He's out of contract at Chelsea, and a lot of clubs are coming in for him as well. Olympique Gymnase Club de Nice, Toulouse, Stade Brostos, however you pronounce that, and Bologna came in for him, and he opted to choose the Premier League and Blackburn. He was at Chelsea last season, I believe. Yep, he was at Chelsea, didn't play any games for them, probably hence why they've let him go, but he's been around quite a little bit. Look, he's been at Chelsea all these years, and he's been out on loan to Schalke, Reims, Mallorca, Rangers, St Etienne, so he's quite experienced. Last season, very good average rating there, a few assists for him as well, so he looks like a good player. He's not going to replace Niambe, but he comes in as a good backup, so adding a little bit of depth to the back four was what we was hoping for this year, and with Tosin and Rahman coming in, it's going pretty well so far. And another left back has joined the club. This time it's Ryan Ait-Nouri who's in. He's a 21-year-old fullback. He's come in for £13.5 million. 12 million has been deducted from the transfer budget. We have just lost Lukokoy, who is he didn't sign a new deal with us, so now we've brought in 2 left backs. So you can't get one, you bring in 2, because apparently Raba is, I think I just said he's a right back in the previous part, but he is actually a left back. So we've now got 2 decent left backs. Rahman there, we've got to wait for the new lad to show up here, so that'll be 3 really good left backs all of a sudden. That was a bit of a mistake, but hey ho, Rahman apparently can be trained to be a right back as well, and that's exactly what we're going to set him up to do. And another signing for us this time, it is a central midfielder, and it is Romeo from Shakhtar. We've picked him up for £16 million, well just under £17 million actually, and he comes in to give us a bit of experience and depth in the central midfield role. You'll know him from Barcelona and Chelsea and of course Southampton as well. He may be 30 years old. We was looking at him last year, bringing him in. However, I think he opted to go to Shakhtar. I've got a feeling we offered him a contract and he didn't accept it. I might be wrong. He might have been at Shakhtar for a while. Let me have a look actually. Am I right on that one? And yeah, there we go. It went on a free transfer. So yeah, I'm sure we did look to bring him in last year, but he decided for Shakhtar. He comes in and he provides us with really good cover, I think, in the midfield. He won't get in ahead of Travis, he won't get in ahead of Calvin Phillips, but he's a good option for the European and Cup games. And the search for a right back is finally over. We have signed Robar on loan from Arsenal. He's a very good, promising young fullback. We did try to put in a sneaky clause there to get him in on a 2.5 million pounds, I think it was, as an optional future fee. But he's a good young player. He's currently operating at a championship level. However, he's not going to play a lot. He's going to be more cover for Niambe, but look at his potential. So if he wants to go places, he's got a great platform at Blackburn to express his skill set and learn and develop. But we couldn't unfortunately get the future fee in there. We have said to Arsenal he's going to be a regular starter because they wanted him to be an important player. But he's not a regular starter, a squad player. They wanted him to be a regular starter, but he has come in. He's a good player when we're about to accept that. So now I'm very happy with the defence. If we just hit continue one last time, he should show up in our team report and squad depth, and which he is in there. Apparently he's 4th choice, but Travis is never going to play there. Tosin's never going to play there, so Robar will do. But I expect him to develop well over the season. He'll play mainly cup games, maybe the odd European game, and he's there to step in if anything happens to Ryan Niambe. But the defence is really looking good now with the 2 left backs coming in. Bell's still there. We just let go of Lukokoy, who was still on the books on a weekly contract, rolling contract, but we've let him go now because we don't need his services anymore than the 2 new left backs. Centre backs look absolutely fine, and Romeo can slot in there if there's like 5 odd injuries. We're looking quite good, looking very healthy now. The central midfielders are looking good. Romeo coming in. We haven't done anything to the attacking midfielders or the strikers as yet. We only have £8 million, just under £9 million left. Our wage budget, we still got about 200 grand on that. So we're not forced into making any changes there into them attacking positions. If the right opportunity and the right player becomes available, then we'll look to explore that. Right now, it's probably looking like we're going to try and offload a few. Maybe Rothwell could be one to go, and maybe Buckley as well. Looks like his time is up at the club also. And Franklin Costello maybe as well. He could be another one which will also leave the club, but we'll see how things pan out. So there we have it then. We are now one day away from the Bournemouth game, the start of the Premier League, and that will of course be in the next episode. Look at that for results in pre-season: 11-0, 13-0, 12-0, 3-0 and a 3-0. Fabio Silva somewhere got 6 goals. I think it was in this game. Yeah, it was. 6 goals for him, 3 goals for Adam Armstrong, 2 for Calvin Phillips. Them 3 were on fire. The team were on fire in that game. I can't imagine the opposition were very good though, so we can't really read too much into that, but we scored a hatful of goals, and that's only good going into the new season. Of course, we played Bournemouth first game of the season, as I said, and we also played Cardiff away. So them 2 games will be in the next episode, so make sure you come around for that game. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I know it's a bit tedious watching a transfer window because there's no actual football to be played, but however, I think it's important in this save we show you what we're doing as we're trying to win the Premier League. We've got 2 more seasons to do it, and hopefully the recruitment is a step in the right direction. If we can get to the Champions League this year, I will be absolutely delighted, and it will be perfect if we win the Premier League in the 5th and final season before Football Manager 2021 is released. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video if you did enjoy it, and remember to check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/ReesyFC. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.